going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to the channel, and today, very excited to bring you guys a new Madden 22 franchise rebuild, this time with the Atlanta Falcons. A really interesting squad for us to go in and rebuild because predominantly our rebuilds so far have been with rookie quarterbacks, teams with established quarterbacks, and this is going to be our first rebuild where we have an established quarterback here in Matt Ryan, but it's going to be the first rebuild where realistically, we're going to be trying to find his replacement at some point, be it drafting, be it free agency, and I'm kind of excited for that new challenge and new opportunity here to rebuild. Before we get into the rebuild, before we get into the preview of the Falcons roster, I do need to take a moment to shout out a sponsor for today's video. You like easy money? Thanks to MyBookie and their lock of the season, if either team scores in the NFL season opener, you win. A game hasn't ended in a 0-0 tie since World War II. This is a sure bet. Head to mybookie.ag, select the lock of the season, and any team scores between the Dallas Cowboys and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you win. The best bet is the one you can't lose. MyBookie is also playing host to several exclusive contests, including their $100,000 Super Contest, and it only costs $10 to enter. There's big money on the line this season, so don't wait to get into the game. Join now. Head to mybookie.ag today and use my promo code C4 and instantly receive double your first deposit. That's double the funds to double your winnings. Again, that's promo code C4 to receive double your first deposit and get started with MyBookie today. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Let's meet the rest of this roster. Interesting roster for the Atlanta Falcons. You know, it's one of those teams you don't think that they're bad, but like they're one of the lowest rated teams in Madden 22. So let's see what we got. So we know we have Matt Ryan, 85 stars, 36. I can tell you right now, the plan in this rebuild, maybe not to trade Matt Ryan, but I do think, especially for this draft, we're going to be aggressive in looking for a quarterback. Now, they got Josh Rosen. That's probably for another video to try and make something out of that, but it's just so much. I mean, you know, still 66 normal dev, 24. That could be like an old, solid rookie that you could draft anyways at this stage. I don't know. I will say this. The only way that this will turn into a Josh Rosen, you know, Falcons revival rebuild is if there's no QBs in this first draft. And there's no, you know, if there's a lack of quarterbacks, which I guess is kind of potentially possible, maybe we'll look with Josh Rosen. But ultimately, you know, we're going to try and win short term with Matt Ryan and then eventually get his successor, hopefully through the draft. Running back room looks also very different. We got Mike Davis here, 81 normal. I was going to say startingly 81 normal. Coming over, you know, kind of impressed a little bit last year when he was filling in for Christian McCaffrey due to injury. But, you know, again, from a rebuild standpoint, this is very weak, man. You have Cordero Patterson, fun player if you were doing like a franchise or something like that. But for like, that's your running backs, dude? Like, maybe Mike Davis is solid. Like, if you draft him in fantasy, stuff like that, you know, depend. If he slips to you, by all means. But for the sake of a Madden rebuild, that's a whole lot of meh at that running back spot. They have two fullbacks for some reason. Well, I mean, yeah, they're going to be the Titans offense, right? So I guess they need a fullback. So we'll go Keith Smith for the time being and then maybe draft one. Fullbacks are fairly easy to draft. Now, the wide receiver room is where things get a little interesting because we have a key cornerstone piece for this rebuild in Calvin Ridley, 88 overall, superstar dev wide receiver, who's ready to emerge as the wide receiver one now that Julio Jones is off in Tennessee. So I'm excited for Calvin Ridley. I think he's going to be very good for us. You have Russell Gage, who's, you know, a role player for sure, I think, with 75 star dev. Given the amount of work that needs to go into rebuilding this team, I'm open to making Russell Gage potentially a long-term starter for us at that wide receiver spot. I mean, hey, he's, you know, 25 with that star dev, could definitely develop into a very solid wide receiver 3. Don't think we can rely on him, though, to be a wide receiver 2. Rest of the wide receiver room, again, kind of like most of the Falcon rosters. It's unimpressive, but you know what is impressive? We have technically, I guess, wide receiver 2. Maybe eventually wide receiver 1 at the tight end spot in Kyle Pitts. Freak of nature, 81 with a hidden dev trade. If you've seen any of the previous videos by now, you probably know what that dev trade is, but I won't spoil it. But that is, like, it's absurd. Absolutely absurd. As a Gator fan, he's the real deal. He's real, like, you know, again, because we're really around fantasy draft season, kind of wanted to reach for Kyle Pitts in all my fantasy. I didn't get him, but I think he's going to be something truly special. I think he's awesome. We got Hayden Hurst here for, you know, we could very easily, and what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to play Kyle Pitts at wide receiver as a rookie, and we'll have Hayden Hurst be the tight end. I mean, what is the... I want to just see this. I'm going to do this right now, because this could also be a question for people that may not have used the Atlanta Falcons yet. What does the rating look like for Kyle Pitts if you move into wide receiver? He's an 81 tight end. And we make him, like, do we have our wide receiver on the roster? It's a 74. I mean, for the sake of the... See, I'm like, it's the question now comes, it's like, is he gonna, like, am I gonna shoot his production in the foot? Because if he stays at tight end, is that where he's gonna thrive? Is he gonna get 900 yards, 12, 13, 14 touchdowns if I keep him at tight end? And then if I make him wide receiver 2, is that gonna just limit his hinder? I'm gonna move him back to tight end. I don't like this. I don't like this switch. I feel like what we could do is, I mean, Hayden Hurst could probably act as our slot wide receiver. He has that dev trade. We'll put Russell Gage on the outside and rock and roll with Pitts. And then, hey, if Pitts does nothing from that tight end 1 spot, maybe in the offseason we look at moving to a wide receiver. Offensive line is, okay, you have Jake Matthews, 81. He's 29, though, so it's not great for a rebuild. Left guard is terrible. We have Josh Andrews, who's like on the Eagles practice squad like 47 times. We have Hennessy at center, 67. Does have a star dev, does have a dev trait, so there's some development there. Right guard, Lindstrom, who's solid, 79 with a star dev as well. And then at right tackle, hopefully, you're looking for someone like Caleb McGarry to put it all together. What I'm going to do, just because I think Mayfield was a solid selection at Michigan last year, I'm going to put Mayfield at left guard just to get him some reps. I mean, 64 normal, does have an uphill battle to really develop into a potential starter for us. But I mean, at this point in time, any young player, just to see what they can do, it's probably going to be worth it for the Atlanta Falcons. I'm not expecting this team to really be super competitive until year 3, maybe. And then on the defensive line, you have Johnny Bullard, who's really good at Florida, but the starter right now is John Kaminsky, 71 normal. It's not great. He's a good athlete. And then you got Grady Jarrett. This is a defense that is shifting to a 3-4. So Grady Jarrett is the belle of the ball on the defensive side of the ball for us. I think 88 with that superstar dev. He's 28, but I'm very confident that we, as long as he wants to be here, will be a part and big part of this defense for the 5 years of this. Really, have Marlon Davidson, 69 star dev. I think just from a dev trait standpoint, it's going to be worth us to move Marlon Davidson to the other defensive end spot. No shots at Kaminsky. I'd rather go with the guy with the dev trait and have him make that gap up by starting in the reps, from 69 to a 72 overall. It's just, you gotta always it's a rebuild. Rebuild 101. Go with the dev trait. Inside of D tackle, not great either. You have Davison from Fresno State here. Smallest nose tackle in the league, apparently. But, another spot we have to replace, but I'm not really worried about it. D tackles grow on trees in the draft. Brandon Copeland, Tuti Mariner. I actually think this guy kind of popped last year a little bit. Had some good stats for the Falcons, but from a rating standpoint, there's nothing there. That's not good. You have Debo, middle linebacker, 87 here with the boost star dev. Olukun from Yale, converted safety, 80 with the star dev. All right, so there's 2 middle linebackers that we can absolutely rock and roll with for, again, as long as they're going to be here, hopefully for the full 5 years. And at least we have something that you can kind of, tick the box off. Middle linebacker, okay, that's looking kind of good for the Falcons. We have Fowler at edge, 73 normal. Again, for either one of these linebacker spots, looking for the replacement, looking for upgrades there. Flipping into the secondary, we have Moreau, formerly of Washington football team, 77 normal. Okay. AJ Terrell, 77 star. Scheme fit as well. It definitely helps things out. Should be, a cornerstone for this secondary. We have Isaiah Oliver, 74 normal. Maybe you can get a dev trait. Sheffield, 74 normal as well. Somewhat decent corners, 25, 24, and Moreau, 27 is a little bit out there for him. He's a great athlete, but hopefully someone like us, we'll give Oliver an opportunity here. Maybe he can go up dev trait. That would help out just a little bit. Eric Harris, we're definitely going 100% Richie Grant at free safety. Will start. Great pick out of Central Florida. And then at strong safety, we have Duron Harmon, formerly of the Patriots, 79 normal. Hawkins has been good for us in pink slips. That's about all I can say at that strong safety spot. Yeah, Koo's a phenomenal kicker. Was a fantasy god last year, so I appreciate that. Does he have a dev? Did they give him star? Nice. 81 star. Should have our kicker. I'll try to keep him for the whole rebuild. Look at the punters. Dom Maggio is a great name, but also got an absolute worm of a leg. Sub 90 kick power. Don't think so. We'll go with this dude out of Georgia. But ultimately, a lot to do. This is easily going to be our most difficult rebuild. like what we've done so far these rebuilds has been ultimately successful, especially from a drafting standpoint. Couple Super Bowls, wish I had a couple more, but all we've learned, all the tendencies that we picked up so far about Madden 22 franchise, gotta put them on display here today, because this is going to be a very difficult rebuild to get the Falcons back to and to win a Super Bowl. But let's get into it. Just hopped in the Generate draft class. We got a good, at least generous spin of the wheel, because there's plenty of times where there's not even like a projected first-round quarterback in a draft class, if maybe one if you're lucky. And we actually have 3 guys already just from initial scouting that are getting first-round grades. So keep an eye on this. Maybe potentially Alex Gray, late first-rounder out of Clemson. We have Downing from the U. Looks pretty good. Mid-first-round talent, 5'11". I'm assuming he's going to be probably our scrambler, but look at this guy, Tim Carl. 2 first names, elite talent. Number 1 in true talent in the entirety of the draft. Early first-round grade. So if we could somehow just be the worst this year, we can get Madden's generation here of Trevor Lawrence. So the midway point of year number 1, we are 3-5, which is, I guess, pretty good considering, I guess, the biggest objective we could hit this year is getting that number 1 pick, or as close to that number 1 pick as possible to draft that quarterback. But looking at our contracts here, players that, we kind of want to keep here in the building. Let's look more so on the low end. Don't think there's going to be a lot. I mean, we do have, let's be honest, I'm not paying Josh Rosen $11 million. I'm just not going to be able to do that. Look at the rest of the squad. I think Isaiah Oliver, probably worth 3. That's affordable for sure for a guy that's going to get plenty of snaps probably this year and next year to potentially get a dev trade. I think Russell Gage with that dev trade as well. I'd give him a 4-year deal. I think he can continue to develop, wants a little bit more money. I don't think there's going to be too much issue there. I think Oluku, middle linebacker, guy that's going to be absolutely primed for a potential dev trade increase, just for the sheer amount of tackles and production that he is getting. So we'll get him locked up on a contract. I think Koo's an absolute legend. I mean, kickers, sure. Let's get him for the entirety of the rebuild. We got a lot of salary cap to throw around. We're only going to have that much more as our team gets younger. I think Hayden Hurst will let him walk. So, yeah, ultimately, I think we'll just come back to the table here for Russell Gage. And other than that, we'll go into free agency with decent amount of money to improve the squad. Year 1 comes to an end. We are 4-13. Just not very good. Pretty much lost in the last of our games here. And we finished with the 2nd overall pick. And if Madden's not going to be brutal, I mean, maybe technically tied for 2nd. If we have the tiebreaker, which I think we do, we lost 8 in a row over football team. I'm not worried about the Jets drafting that quarterback with Zach Wilson there. Hopefully, the Madden logic kind of stands up here. But Washington could definitely be in park for a QB. So hopefully we do hold on to that number 2 overall pick. And very much we'll probably get to target that QB. And I say that there's a chance that even though we lost a bunch, Matt Ryan had a huge year. And it wouldn't make sense to move on from I don't know. Let's see what he did. Matt Ryan, 6th in passing yards, which isn't bad, but 27th in the league in tutties. 4,800 passing yards, 24 touchdowns, 18 picks. Yeah, it's not great. It's not bad, but it's not great. 8-12 for Mike Davis. Not good. I have a couple running back targets on the draft. Maybe they'll fall to us. 1,300 yards, 7 touchdowns for Calvin Ridley's fantastic. 1,200 yards, 5 touchdowns for Kyle Pitts. Outstanding. 8-3 for Hayden Hurst. He was our slot wide receiver. 7-4 for Russell Gage. I mean, these guys ate. Full credit for them. They ate. The receivers look pretty good. Defensively, 128 tackles. A pick from A.J. Terrell. You never want to see your corner have the most tackles. But technically, I'm pretty sure tackles help dev traits. So, maybe not all is lost. Huge year from Grady Jarrett. 69 tackles, 20 TFLs, 9 sacks. I'll take that. Harmon led the team with 3 interceptions. Quick look here at the yearly awards. MVP went to Patrick Mahomes. We have in the NFC, let's just see if there's any Atlanta Falcons. Probably not. Kyle Pitts, runner-up for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Defensive Rookie of the Year. Richie Grant coming in at number 7. And then for the individual awards, nothing here. No, there's no way. He was probably like one of the worst Eagles last year. NRC. Big picture for the entirety of the league. Let's see. Mahomes put up probably pretty freaky numbers, which he did. Him and Brady just going off. But even then, 57 touchdowns. Patrick Mahomes, 19 touchdowns for Randall Cobb there as a receiving leader. That's just absurd. But let's go into the draft. Let's go to free agency. Let's improve this team. Going into year 2. And to win year number 1 Super Bowl, it goes to the Kansas City Chiefs 37-17 in a rematch as Patrick Mahomes gets himself an MVP and defeats Tom Brady. What? Actually, we have to get rid of somebody. We have no salary. We're one of the worst teams in the league, and we have no salary cap. All right, this is the biggest part of year one. The draft is here. We have the number 2 pick. Let's just get right to our pick. Come on, don't bet the QB first. Had to collect myself there. My draft board is insane, fellas. Like, if we could have got that QB, I think this could have been an all-time. Like, it's just, clip it, send it to Swami or something. Like, that still shouldn't be happening. Well, there's the best QB still here. Cam Downing, mid-first rounder. We can roll with Matt Ryan till another year, and till we can get, I'm fine with Matt Ryan until we can draft an early first-round talent. Or maybe we can find a way to trade for that QB, because there's no way the Jets are going to use 2 quarterbacks. How about we try to get one of the Jets quarterbacks in? I'd rather do that and explore that avenue versus drafting, second place. This running back looks absolutely terrifying. Early first rounder, but he's in the second round. We pick early in the second round. So, we also got this guy, Bryce Brown, third round D end, early first round talent, 6'2", 270, maybe slightly undersized. We got a bunch of first rounders at detail. I'm thinking, look at this, 6th rounder, mid first strong safety. Even though we got Gardner, who's an early first round strong safety, I feel like the value's there just to get that guy in the 6th or whatever we want to wait. I was kind of hoping there would be, you know what? Screw this. Let's do it. We're gonna grab the running back, because I don't think that's my first 8 combine report. Jawan Carr, 77 hit dev, number 4 in true value, getting him at number 2. He looks pretty. What's that speed though? It's not great speed. All right, we're gonna follow it up. We're gonna grab the DN here. Bryce Brown, early first rounder, 76 hidden dev, number 8 in true value. Good athlete. I'm not actually seeing anything that's super standouty. I guess 80 finesse move is pretty high for a rookie, but that is just a solid player. Hopefully, he has a good depth trade. Another picker in the second round, we have wide receiver Eric Robinson, late first rounder. Need that third wide receiver to our offense, so at this point, why not see what he can bring to the squad? 73 normal dev, not a great depth trade, but 25 in true value, 91 speed, 95 acceleration, 86 catching traffic's pretty solid. Now we're in the third round, just continuing to add talent. Tyree Rivers, 76 normal dev, scheme fit, power rusher. Don't know if he's going to be, maybe we'll go slightly undersized at defensive end. Kick one of these edges that we got to outside linebacker. I'm not sure. But when you're a team like the Atlanta Falcons, just adding talent wherever you can is paramount early on. Let's grab the safety, Philip Stevenson, in the 4th round. 75 hidden dev, number 17 in true value. Looking really good. 77 tackle, 82 pursuit, 80 hit power, 89 speed, 90 acceleration, 74 zone, day 1 starter. Ooh, adding in another hidden dev, 68. Hidden dev corner, Cliff Samuels, 98 in true value. Let's keep going, baby. It's not making up for Zach Wilson and the Jets drafting a QB first overall. We got a hidden dev punter, 69. Again, go with the, tips and tricks. Go with the guy that's the tallest and the heaviest. It always works. Overall, pound for pound, maybe one of the best drafts we've ever had. The fact that we got all 70 plus, and then our 2 guys, excluding our fullback, which actually he's also going to play for us, our hidden dev players, is just, why did this happen? Should I try to trade? I feel like I should try to trade for him. But also, I don't know, man. I'll think about it. I mean, I almost feel like I gotta punish them. So I offer them our first round pick and Mike Davis for Cruel. That QB didn't want him. Zach Wilson, on the other hand, we're able to swing that. So I guess this is going to be very weird rebuild, but I'm not letting the Jets off the hook. I had to punish them. This is our opportunity to get a QB. And Zach Wilson. Okay. All right, so I actually had to post that draft snippet on Twitter, and luckily almost all the people that were replying were like, "Man, you got to go for Zach Wilson." So luckily that all kind of came to fruition. Now, how would they handle, getting Zach Wilson in real life? If you had Zach Wilson, they made a trade, obviously trying to explain how this realistically happened. So the Jets absolutely did not like Zach Wilson. They're doing like a Josh Rosen Cardinals type deal. We gotta go Zach Wilson here over Matt Ryan, right? Gotta! And we're pairing that with an outstanding draft where we have a 77 hidden dev rookie running back. We got a 73 wide receiver that's going to start in the slot. The O-line is coming together. I think the O-line is one of the more underrated aspects. I think Lindstrom, Hennessy, Mayfield developed nicely. Mayfield went up 5-6 points his rookie season. You have Kyle Pitts, who, we still got to unlock the upgrade to get the X factors here. Again, working on it with the staff points. But offensively, all right, did not think when I started the Falcons rebuild this would be a Zach Wilson Falcons rebuild. But here we are, man. We're gonna persevere. We're gonna find a way. I'm thinking on the defensive line, we'll go Brown at nose tackle, go undersized, just whatever, man. Completely throw it out the window. We'll get Samuel some reps here as our third corner, just because he has the dev trait. Stevenson has the dev trait there. I'm thinking, between Rivers and Brown, can one of these guys actually stand up as an edge rusher? Looking at Rivers here, he has pretty good pursuit. He probably could, honestly, if we wanted to. I think I'm gonna have Tyree Rivers stand up at edge, and then we will not be completely unrealistic and put a 268-pound nose tackle. We'll have Brown be the defensive end. Oh, he's a better athlete though. Look at that speed. Okay, we're gonna make Brown the outside linebacker. Keep the other dude on the D line, and just try to get our best young players on. Why is Zach Wilson our quarterback now? I'm here for it though. Let's go. Just can't get my head around the Jets drafting a QB at 1. So the midway point of year 2 with Zach Wilson under center. We're 4-5, and we have 2 wins against 2 of the best teams. We beat the Browns. We beat the Bucks, oddly enough. So Zach Wilson playing big time in some of these big time games. So I'm a little bit confident we got pretty much equal our victories. Pretty much. We do have equal our victories from a year ago. So looking at our squad, who is getting contracts? We barely had any money last year. So hopefully our budget is not as tight this year. I don't think it will be. Let's lock up Lindstrom for the remainder of the rebuild. We got 4 years. Give him a 4-year deal. I think Grady Jarrett with that X factor, I'm honestly going to keep him for the whole time. I'll give him 4-year deal if he'll take it, which he will. And then we have Calvin Ridley, another big playmaker, 4-year deal. Handing them out. We get him locked up. And now we actually will have a little bit of Skrilla. Plus, sooner than later, we'll be able to move Matt Ryan's massive contract off the books. We're going to be able to have some fun in free agency. So the first year of the Zach Wilson era is in the books. 6-11, still not really where we want to be. We have some impressive victories on the resume from this season, but ultimately being bottom dweller. I know we beat the Bucks once, but being bottom dwellers in the division is not great, especially because we're not going to have a first-round pick. We gave that to get Zach Wilson, but as you can see right there, passing leaders, Zach Wilson, 3rd. So feeling kind of good that we made that trade. We're just going to ignore the fact that Christian McCaffrey is a leading receiver in the NFL. Let's look at our stats here. First year of Zach Wilson, let's say we're 3rd in passing yards, only 18th in tutties, so could do better there. 15 picks, little high, but I think that's a hell of a first start here for Zach Wilson, and definitely having a little bit better adjusting into his new home than really the only comparable situation, if we're trying to make sense of this, being the Josh Rosen Cardinals situation. So, I'm excited to see where Zach Wilson can go. I'm actually more excited to be able to cut Matt Ryan and get some more, cap. 1,100 yards, 15 touchdowns for the rookie running back, Jawan Carr, who is a star dev, unfortunately, but still, we can work with that. Wide receiver, Calvin Ridley, almost 1,400 yards. We had 1,108 for Gage, 20 yards shy of 1,000 for Kyle Pitts. Carr 6, 44, and 5, which is good. Robinson, one of our other highly touted rookies, solid year. 600 yards, 3 touchdowns is what it is. Defensively, Olakun led the team with tackles, 2 sacks, 3 picks as well. On the sacks front, 10.5 from Grady Jarrett. Malik Jackson, 7. We got Tyree Rivers with 7. I don't think he had a dev trait. Where's the other? We had a guy. Bryce Brown had a dev trait. 86 tackles, 2.5 sacks, 2 picks. Superstar, come on. Just a star. Goddamn. We did still have a couple other dev trades. Stevenson, the safety, had a dev trade. 8-star. Ugh. And we had a rookie. Samuels had a dev trade and star as well. Whatever, man. They can't all be superstars. If they're all superstars, this rebuild wouldn't be that hard because our team would be unstoppable. McCaffrey is the MVP. Very quick look at maybe see if we have a couple Atlanta Falcons showing up here. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Carr is the runner-up to the QB. Defensive Rookie of the Year went to Farr. Brown at 3. Rivers at 4. Stephenson. Is it Stephenson or that's definitely Stevenson? Philip Stevenson coming in at number 8. And then for the rest of the awards, you know what? I'd rather see Cam Newton win MVP than Colin Kaepernick. So, progress. I think it is worth before we carry on, go to the next offseason. Let's see what that Jets QB looks like. The guy that should have been ours, statistically, kind of similar. But what's the depth? Don't be X Factor. It's only a star. Broken logic aside, I could sleep at night knowing that I think I'd rather Zach Wilson than that guy. And it only cost us a first-round pick. That wouldn't have been a pick high enough to draft a quarterback of Zach Wilson's quality in this Year 2 draft. So, could be worse. Year 2 season recap. The Dallas Cowboys beat the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl 38-21. Dak Prescott is the MVP. Let's take a look at our squad. See if there was any dev traits or anything juicy like that was achieved. I didn't even look last year. I think Grady Jarrett went up to an X Factor. Should have probably highlighted that C4. Look at the offense. Nothing. No dev traits. Defensive side. So yeah, we have Grady Jarrett with the X Factor there. Brown went up to Superstar. That's pretty cool. Don't know really why. I mean, he was runner. I'll take it. Honestly, I'll take it because I'll just act like I drafted him that way. I drafted a superstar. Yeah, I mean, teams coming together. I think going into this offseason, get another edge rusher to take over for Fowler. Maybe get a true nose tackle, corner. Keep that in mind. And then on the offensive side of the ball, we get tackle. We can look at, it's baby steps. Baby steps. I think we can plug in some of these holes, though. Time is now. Time is now. Thank you. Thank you for your service. So for free agents here, gonna flex our muscles here a little bit. Got a lot of extra money. There was some dead money on that Matt Ryan contract, but we did free up a lot. So we're gonna try to spend it. First, we're gonna pretty much just shift that contract onto Josh Allen. He's a scheme fit, edge rusher. Pretty competitive offers, but I do think we should have enough here to land him. Fair offer is 103. We're offering 120. We got Murphy Bunting trying to steal away a player within the division. He would instantly come in, be corner 2 on the outside with A.J. Terrell. And then Amir just on the offensive line thinking about it in case there's no tackle. We could draft Kinley at guard and then kick Mayfield, who is a guard or a right tackle, out to right tackle. And Mayfield can be the successor for Caleb McGarry. So that's just kind of what I'm thinking here. All right, and okay, the big moves fell for us. That's good. We got Josh Allen. We hit on Murphy Bunting. We did not get Kinley, but at least now we kind of prioritize if there's a good lineman for us to draft in there, we will draft them. All right, tough call with our first pick in the second round. We have Matlock, mid-first rounder, can be a nose tackle. We have Huggins, early first round edge rusher. You don't ever really want to pass on them, but we have Grady Jarrett doing the thing. Can we kick Grady Jarrett into nose tackle? Undersized? I don't know. And then we have Howell, early first round corner. We did just sign Murphy Bunting. Who's that third corner that we have? I feel like, how can we do this? How can I hit? Because we're not going to grab that lineman there. So looking on the defense, we can kick in Grady Jarrett. Let's see what happens if we go to D-tackling. I'm thinking this, 305, we put him on a little bit of a weight gain program. You bring him up 10 pounds, 315. You know how you do that? You know how you put a weight program here in Madden? He got 315 here. He's now 315. We told him to bulk up a little bit. He's been a beast. And I think it just makes more sense to upgrade on Marlon Davidson than it would, say, Oliver, who we paid him bigger money. Davidson's going to be a free agent this year. Yeah, we're going to grab that edge rusher. I feel like that's best case scenario for us. Anytime you get the early edge, it's probably better than corners. Either or, they're both fairly, look at the combine grades for both of them. Oh, that is pretty good, though. No, let's do it. Let's do it. Huggins is our guy. Please have a dev. Fuck. 77, normal, number 8 in true value. I know that corner had a dev trade. I know he did. He definitely did. All right, this is like this is an early draft. This is my last pick that I like. At tackle, Devin Claiborne, early 3rd round, great athlete. Ooh, okay. 70 hidden dev, 71. I think if you told me right now, C4, edge rusher could have a hidden dev, and then this right tackle would be normal, or we could have good edge rusher and give the tackle a dev trait. I'd probably take the tackle with the dev trait. So we hit on both of our first picks. I'm just gonna sim it out there though, because I don't really like the rest of the draft board. Blind pick it here, and I got a slightly better hidden dev offensive lineman. Cool. Maybe this guy could be the replacement of Jake Matthews. So here's the corner that we passed on. It's the only thing I really care about for the draft recap. He's 77. He only had normal. So we pretty much normal for a normal. No harm, no foul. So we made some big time investments here as we gear ahead of year 3 of this Atlanta Falcons rebuild. On the offense side of the ball, Zach Wilson looking to take big strides in his 2nd year as the new franchise quarterback here in Atlanta, 83 star. Rest of the offense pretty much remains the same. Lucky that we're able to hit on 2 hidden dev linemen. Would love for a superstar. I have yet to draft a superstar lineman here in Madden 22. But even worst case scenario, having 2 guys with dev traits with some upside makes me feel pretty good because we needed a right tackle, and we're going to need a left tackle replacement sooner than later. And on the defensive side of the ball, the big-time investment comes at edge rusher, landing Josh Allen, formerly of the Jacksonville Jaguars, 89 overall superstar speed rusher, scheme fit, absolute beast. Brown, one of our high draft picks last year, went up dev trait, so we have 2 superstar edge rushers. Middle linebackers are solid. The safeties are solid. Looking to see Richie Grant maybe take a big step this year. The corners are good. The D-line doesn't have the dev traits, but moving Grady Jarrett, packed on a couple pounds here, back to nose tackle. Huggins and Rivers, excited for one of those guys potentially get an opportunity to go up a dev trait sooner or later, but very, very optimistic about both sides of the ball here for the Atlanta Falcons. We get for year 3, where I definitely think we should start to expect to contend for the playoffs. All right, we actually hit one of our normal dev defensive ends, got up to a star dev, 20,000 XP. That is huge. He had his TFL in a loss against the Tops. 5-0 undefeated Carolina Panthers. We're, hanging in there at 2-3, but a dev trait for the D lineman, that's good. So around the midway point of year 3, not exactly where we want to be, 4-4, but still plenty of games to finish this out right. Above 500, challenge for the playoffs. That was kind of our goal. We actually have a breakout scenario here ahead of this Saints game. Hope it's on the defensive side of the ball. If it's on the offensive side of the ball, it's probably not going to actually count. Edge rush will get 150 yards. It's probably unlikely that'll hit that, but we will update if he does hit on it in the next week. But we got to talk about contracts here. What do we got? Got a little bit of money. We actually spent a lot of money on the open market. So, Davidson, we're good there. Hennessy at center, I really don't want to mess around with drafting linemen. You don't have to. So we'll get Hennessy locked up. Matthews, we have a successor at tackle. So let's play AJ Terrell here, 5-year deal. Sure, he's been solid. Haven't really had big interception numbers, but he's a solid player. Good backbone on the back end of the defense. Let's give Deion Jones 4 years, $50 million. Wants a little bit more. I will oblige, but we will get younger here at left tackle, and we'll just let Davidson be a nice upgrade potentially. And a good, like low risk, high reward for another team in the NFL. So we finished year 3, 8-9. So we didn't make the playoffs. Weren't really in contention to make the playoffs. Didn't finish above 500. But what we do have is a whole lot of salary cap to splurge in the offseason and try and make this team, which is good. That 87 across the board. Obviously, there's probably some buffs there that might reset once we start the next year, but that's a really strong team. I'm surprised how quickly we've been able to develop them. Looking around the league right now, nothing really popping off too crazy there. Big year from Nick Chubb. Looking at our own stats in our own building. What happened? Zach Wilson, cut down on the interceptions for sure. Maybe need a couple more big plays. Maybe we need another big-time wide receiver to pair with Pitts at tight end and Calvin Ridley. I don't know if maybe Gage is Gage. We need another guy. 1,200 yards, 11 touchdowns for Carr. He's been solid since we drafted him. 12-5 for Ridley, 11-8 for Gage, 8-6 for Pitts. Gage is putting up solid numbers, but 81 star, that should probably be our 3rd receiver if we really want to try to go on and win a Super Bowl, at least in the eyes of Madden. Defensively, 125 tackles for Olakun, 3.5 sacks. We got 16.5 for Josh Allen, so an immediate return on investment from our top free agent. 11.5 here for Bryce Brown, interception as well. 9 for Grady Jarrett, 8.5 for Tyree Rivers, who got a depth trait this year, which is cool. Our defense, scary. We got a scary defense, boy. Interceptions not great. Could have been worse, could have been better. MVP went to Alvin Kamara. More so looking at our squad. I don't think there's going to be many. Oh, get fucking Kamara. Whenever there should be a roster update, the week 1 roster update. Nerf him, please. Just, it's easy. Come on, man. You don't need that PR anymore. Nerf him a little. Keep him in the game. It's awesome having Colin Kaepernick in the game. Awesome having him in the game. Have him as a 65, though. As far as, like, just actual straight-up awards, don't. Ooh, okay. Josh Allen, linebacker of the year, but still, through 3 years, not exactly where we want to be. At the end of year 3, the Chiefs just continue to shit pump everybody in Madden Sim. Win another Super Bowl 28-20 over the 49ers. Nick Bolton is the MVP. Taking a look at our actual squad. See if we have any dev traits that have achieved. Probably more so on the defensive side of the ball. The offensive side of the ball, let's see. Nope. Nobody. Stackhouse is star. Claiborne is star. So I guess like this is probably what our O-line is going to look like next year. Could be worse. Lindstrom's almost a 90 overall. Defensively, nope, no devs. Harsh. So for free agency, the only guy that I'm not going to jump on just quite yet is Tyron Smith. He would be an upgraded left tackle, but I'd rather go with one of the young guys that spend our money this way. Bringing in Chase Claypool. Think that could be the answer for our other outside wide receivers. So we get Ridley and Claypool on the outsides with Russell Gage in the slot. And then I'm just looking for an RB2. Maybe that's something we're missing. I mean, could be a system here in Atlanta that, you know, it's Titans, right? You're thinking Tennessee, they want to run the ball. So with Carr, and you throw in someone like Zach Moss, who we might not get. I'm trying to just lowball him just a little bit, but that'd be solid haul, not overly expensive, so we can be active next year in free agency, maybe if there's better guys available to us. Wow. Wow. Come on, I thought we were cool. Come on, Canada and everything. Fuck them. So we got our big boy here. Really good corner class. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 corners in the second round. All first round grades. A lot of them are mid first. Really hoping to pick 15. I can just nab one of these dudes. But ultimately here we got also 3 wide receivers that all have very favorable grades. McCutcheon, highest combine, not the best. Mid first rounder here for Wilson from Penn State. But here's going to be our pick. We missed out on getting another wide receiver. Luke Collins from A&M. Early first round talent at wide receiver. Combine's not amazing. Little worried he might be a normal dev, but I feel like this is it's worthy of the investment here. And he is, normal dev. I don't know if there's something to this or not, but I tend to find guys that don't have crazy combines tend to have normal dev traits. 77 normal dev, number 8 in true value. I mean, he looks really good. 92 speed, 95 acceleration, 85 catching, 86 spec catch, 91 jumping, 91 agility, 81 release. He's really solid. Just wish he had a dev trait, but yeah, maybe we'll get a dev trait scenario sooner than later. Could let it roll on the wide receiver again. I feel like this guy, better combine, could have the dev trait. We have a really good corner here. Let's just get the corner so we don't double dip. 76, really good, but also a normal dev trait. Sipping out to the end of the draft. Wasn't a bad draft. Not great for the dev traits, but good for the overalls here. Normal dev, normal dev, normal dev DN. My final pick before I simmed was a right tackle that I had on the short list with a hidden dev. So continue to add some pieces there on the O-line. You know, still need that wide receiver, I think. I think we need that Julio Jones replacement. We have Calvin Ridley, but we've never really replaced Julio Jones, and I think I don't know if Luke Collins is going to be that guy. But over year 4. That's baby steps. Give me above 500. Give me above 500. I didn't get that wide receiver that I wanted. Just give me above 500. Offensively, Maine's pretty much the same. Different left tackle. We're going Stackhouse after we moved on from Jake Matthews, who's there forever. But rest of the O-line, is what it is. Kyle Pitts, let's see him have a big year. Defensively, nothing too crazy. Pretty much returning roster. No one really wanted to come join us from free agency. That's fine. 86 overall. Should 86 overall team make the playoffs? Probably. Trying to get away. We finally get away. I'll be honest. We have a very hard schedule. I was getting ready. I was like, oh my God, we're 3-6. Almost all the teams, like there are some teams that are in the high 70s, stuff like that. All the teams we've been playing for the most part, especially within the South, are like 85 plus. So for like thinking about like a logic sim standpoint, and good teams should win most of the time, we're playing a lot of good teams. I would love to complain and say, Sim's broken, but But this 3-6, like, and it also feels like the out-of-division games are against really good squads. Like, you played Baltimore. They're at 86 overall. So, not super upset with the 3-6, knowing who we're playing, but still a little frustrating. But we're at our very final importing, re-signing spot. These are the guys that we want for the remainder of the rebuild. It's looking a little light, which is good, so we have more money hit the open market. I want Mayfield. Actually, we're going to save on Mayfield just a second, because let's get the top two guys. Zach Wilson, we've committed to you. You are the franchise QB, sir. Kyle Pitts, the reason why I wanted to do this rebuild. You are amazing. Thank you for everything you did in Florida. I'm very happy to give you $66 million virtually. Outside of that, I think we can that's cheap to re-sign Richie Grant. I'm actually going to do that, even though I think we still could double around and upgrade at this spot. It's less than a $2 million cap hit, and he might potentially be the top free safety available anyways. I think same could also be said for Jalen Mayfield. We'll give him like a 5-year deal, $2.5 million cap hit. You know, is signing a left guard really going to, you know, put us over the edge next year? Probably not. So that still gives us 40, 50 million bucks to, you know, land a couple premier players, one or two, maybe veterans that want to come over and hopefully join this young team and put us over the edge to win a Super Bowl. And then year 4, 8-9. It's kind of our peak, but like literally 1 or 2 games go our way, we're probably in the playoffs. So I'm not super down in the dumps as we go into year 5 with 0 playoff appearances, because I think we're there. We get a 1 or 2 guys in free agency here, I think it could turn the tide. Looking at the rest of the league for the stats here at the end of year 4, Russell Wilson having a little bit of career, you know, 36, 37 right around now. That's a big year for him. 2,000 yards, 22 touchdowns for Nick Chubb, 19 sacks, Chase Young. Nothing too crazy, though. Evan Howell, 7 interceptions. He was that guy that we passed on. I remember him, fuck him. Look at our squad. Zach Wilson, a little bit better year. 4,500 yards, 31 touchdowns, 8 picks. That is a good enough stat line at the end of the year to lead us to the playoffs. Running the ball, 1,100 yards, 10 tutties here for Carr. He's been consistent. 12-7 Ridley, 1,010 for Russell Gage, 1,004 for Kyle Pitts. Again, see, like if we had one other guy, maybe. Carr, 7-4. I mean, that's outstanding. You know, 1,800 yards from scrimmage. Absolutely, I'll take that. But we get big name wide receiver outside whoever it is. Tyreek Hill's there a lot of times. Maybe DeAndre Hopkins there sometimes. I don't know. But we got to land somebody. We got to get our Julio Jones replacement. Olakun led the team, 129 tackles, 14.5 sacks, Josh Allen, 10.5 Grady Jarrett, 10 for Tyree Rivers. Dominant. Josh Allen worth every penny that we're able to bring him in for. 5 picks, Deion Jones, 4 for Murphy Bunting, 3 for Stevenson, 2 for AJ Terrell. So the fact that between Murphy Bunting, Stevenson, and Terrell, like that's a lot of turnovers for the DBs. And then you got Debo doing his damn thing there. Happy with that. Just, I think we're, again, missing that X Factor guy on the outside. Lamar Jackson is the MVP. Looking at the NFC here, offensive player, they went to Christian McCaffrey, defensive player Chase Young. Stevens, come on, show me some Falcons here. No, we got a Colin Kaepernick, though. We got a Colin Kaepernick side. God damn it, that's stupid. And look at the end of the recap. Shocker. The Kansas City Chiefs have won the Super Bowl. So this is, I guess the argument comes, it is boring that the Chiefs are winning the Super Bowl, but is that a sign that the Sims got better because they're most likely the best team every year? So, like, I would say I don't outright hate the fact that the Chiefs win the Super Bowl a lot of the times, because then, in theory, the reason why they're winning all the time is because the sim has been altered so that the best team wins more often than not. Right? Like, that makes sense. I mean, there could absolutely be a little bit more parity, but it is what it is, I guess. Look at our squad. In terms of depth traits at the end of the season, nothing on offense. And on the defensive side of the ball, fucking nothing. Brutal. All right, for our final free agency period, we went buck wild, and I did call out one of the guys. You know, we're pretty... I'm at a point, trends. Notice trends. DeAndre Hopkins is there. We went in with easily the top bid. I'm actually thinking we got Sermon and John Smith for good depth. I'm just going to max this out. Like, there's no point. We're not taking this salary cap with us anywhere. I'm going to make sure that there's no way, other than he's just not signing with us, that he's going to not sign with us. You know what I'm saying? So let's see what we can get here live, because I'm sure if he doesn't sign, I'm going to lose my mind. All right, we got Hopkins. We got Trey Sermon to accept. Not really worried about Jonnu Smith. He just drafts someone. Anybody does sign. So now this team is scared. And our final first-round pick of the rebuild hit again. No dev trade, but 77 normal dev for John Payne, number 6 in true value. Getting him at 15, some depth on the D-line. All right, from Cap, seeing how the computer did, not bad. Couple 70s, no one below a 60. You didn't fail me. So here it is, submitting our work. This is our final team. As good as I can rebuild the Atlanta Falcons. Offensive line, good. I mean, we've been drafting some guys, still have the interior. Mayfield, Hennessy, Lindstrom from the original roster. Kyle Pitts, 99 Superstar X Factor. Really 94 Superstar. Gage still on the team, 83 is our third option. Carr, we got Sermon, who we just signed, but Carr's been a good pick for us at running back. Bringing in Nuck, DeAndre Hopkins. Finally, our Julio Jones replacement at 33, but just need him for 1 year. Just be a baller, man. Just be an absolute baller. And then the weird turn that I think we salvaged into something, and I think most people would have been like, you know what? If that scenario played out, you should have got Zach Wilson. I'm glad you got Zach Wilson. We got Zach Wilson. I can't really remember at the top of my head like how good he was in the Jets rebuild. So I don't know if this is on par with what he did in the Jets rebuild or not. But I need him to take a big step this year. And adding DeAndre Hopkins with Calvin Ridley and Kyle Pitts, I could see 40 touchdowns. And then on the defensive side of the ball, Grady Jarrett's actually been amazing for us. Rivers has been solid. Secondary, no complaints. No complaints from the secondary for sure. What? Where's Olukun at? Was he? A lot more attention than you know, if you're doing your everyday franchise and you're letting the computer do cuts there, you're gonna be like, whoa, what are you doing, a rebuild? You can just quickly just slip on him. Why did they cut him? And we have Connor Irons here. Sounds like the worst porn star name ever. But we got rid of our starting leading tackler. I'm just gonna bring it to you live. It does not look like we're making the fucking playoffs. Maybe we can get a couple wins here. We beat the Cardinals. We got the Philadelphia Eagles. They're not amazing. Got the Eagles. 2-game win streak. 8-6. Still third place in the division. Lose to Buffalo. 8-7. Week 17. Win. 9-7. Still third place in the division. We have the Jets. Zach Wilson against his former team. And we still don't make the playoffs. Year 5. 10 wins. There's just bad mojo in this rebuild. Like I kind of wish I could have played. We didn't make the playoffs once. My team was an 88 overall, man. You're telling me right now, this was game 1 of year 1 of a rebuild. This was your squad. You had a 95 wide receiver, 97 wide receiver, 93 running back, 91 quarterback, 99 tight end. The offensive line average rating, the boost or whatever, is probably like 82, 83. Then you flip on the defense, you got X Factor 92, 91. No corner below an 80. 2 superstar edge rushers, a 90 middle linebacker, almost 90 strong safety. Oh yeah, you're not making the playoffs. No, next fight, not making the playoffs. You're not doing it, buddy. This is our first utter F, like a failure. Utter failure of a rebuild. Just want to play with Kyle Pitts. Mahomes needs to get nerfed for sure. Zeke had a huge year, but I definitely think we could do with just nerfing Mahomes just a little bit. Nerf the playbooks or something. I guess looking at career stats, how we can end this video. Fuck, man. So got like 2 hours of work, work day left to do something. I was expecting there to be a lot more to do. So I can record the next couple videos. Zach Wilson, I mean, he spent most of his career with us. Minus 1 year, 138 touchdowns, 66 picks. That's, it's not bad. Carr, probably the most consistent player on the offense, along with Calvin Ridley. Hopkins, the addition of DeAndre Hopkins didn't really do much for us. I don't even care what they put up this year. Disgusting, despicable. 4,700 yards, 24 touchdowns. Kyle Pitts, pretty good. Defensively, Debo was all over the field. Grady Jarrett put up some ridiculous numbers. Bringing in Josh Allen was very money well spent. I don't know, man. No answers. Generally, so far, this is our first rebuild that we haven't made the playoffs one. Generally, so far, rebuilds have been fair. We build a good team. Eventually, we're going to go to the playoffs. We're going to have our opportunities on going on that run and winning a Super Bowl. This is the first time I've built a really good team and couldn't get a sniff. I will say the NFC South, very good. So every single, when the Bucks, who even once you lose Tom Brady, there's still, no one in this division is below an 84 overall. So it's a bloodbath every year, unfortunately. It's just the nature of the beast, even though the Panthers shouldn't be that good. I don't know. I suppose we just had this one saying, let me know in the comments what team we rebuild next. And hopefully it'll be a lot better than this one. And if anytime we have a bad rebuild, just know that we're going to do realistic rebuilds for all 32 teams, especially once I get my draft classes done. That's actually what I should do. I should go work on my draft classes a little bit. So we will have, again, for the Atlanta Falcon fans, a second Falcon rebuild when we do it the realistic style. But that's it for today, man. Gut punch, man. That team should be good. I want to play Kyle Pitts. That'll do it for me today, guys. Thank you for watching. As always, first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. If you like me just watching me just go through the trials and tribulations of trying to play Madden franchise mode, hit that like button. I very much appreciate it. It helps with the videos and the YouTube algorithm. Make sure you leave a comment. They also help in the YouTube algorithm, but leave a comment so I can figure out what team we're going to be rebuilding next. I'll see you guys back on the next one. Thanks for watching, and peace out.